In this lesson, we are going to learn letters of the Russian alphabet, as well as the rules of reading in Russian. And it is not as scary as it sounds. One lesson, a bit of practice, and a couple of days for your mind to process all the information will be enough for you to become a fluent Russian reader. As you probably know, the Cyrillic script was invented in Bulgaria by two monks, Cyril and Methodiu, in the 9th century. Cyrillic script has been used for alphabets of various languages in the southeastern Europe and Eurasia. The Russian alphabet uses Cyrillic script, and it is quite similar to that of the Greek language. And let me tell you a little bit about the Russian alphabet. There are 33 letters. Compare this to the English alphabet, which is written using the Latin script with 26 letters only. Russian, though, unlike English, is a very phonetic language, which means words are spelled as they sound and vice versa. There are just a few reading rules that you should keep in mind to sound exactly like a native speaker. Firstly, we do not overpronounce our letters. What I mean by this is that we do not emphasize our D's, B's, and V's when they come at the end of the word. We smoothen them up. Also, some of our letters reduce their pronunciation in several positions. If the O vowel is under stress, it gets fully pronounced. But if it is not stressed, then we pronounce it as a bit of a neutral sound. The same happens to the sound. When it is under stress, we will pronounce it as but when it is not under stress, it gets reduced to a very neutral kind of sound. And let me tell you about the stress in Russian words. There is no certain rule which defines where the stress is going to be in a word. Therefore, for the beginners, we indicate the stress in each and every word. In the following lessons, I will keep using the stress in the words that are new to you, but I will stop using it when they are repeated, so you get used to seeing them as they are, without the stress. And that is all you need to know about the Russian alphabet. Now, let's start learning all the 33 letters of it. We are not going to look at them in order. Instead, we're going to take them in groups. Let's start exploring.
We'll start with the letters that are familiar to you. The very first letter of the Russian alphabet is A. A is always pronounced in the same way as A. Another important vowel is Ye. This letter is pronounced in two different ways. When it is at the beginning of the word or after another vowel, we pronounce it as Ye, just like the name of the letter. But in all the other positions, we pronounce it simply as E. Also, let me remind you that under stress, depending on its position, we pronounce it as either Ye or E, but without the stress, we always pronounce it as a very neutral kind of sound. E. Another vowel, O. O is a letter with a similar story. Under stress, we pronounce it as O, but without the stress, we always pronounce it as a very neutral kind of sound, O or A. So, let's take a look at these vowels again. A, Ye or E, and O, or without stress, A. Now, let's take a look at some easily recognizable letters. Letter K, and it makes the sound K. Letter K, sound K. Letter M makes the sound M. Letter M, sound M. Letter T, sound T. Letter T, sound that it makes T. And now we're going to read your first words in Russian. I'm going to name the sounds that these letters make, And after that, we'll make a word. Let's do it together. K, O, T, kot, kot. Next word. K, O, M, E, T, A. Kometa. Because the second letter, O, is not stressed, we're going to simplify its pronunciation and say комета. Комета. Next word. T, E, M, A. Тема. Тема. Another group of letters is letters that look the same but sound differently. This is what V looks like the first sound in the English word van. V. Letter V, sound V. V. This is what N looks like. Letter N, sound N, like the first sound in the word never in English. Letter N, sound N. This is what R looks like, the famous Russian rolling R letter. Letter R, sound R. Good news is that you don't actually need to roll it unless it's at the beginning of the word. And even if you don't, the word will still be recognizable to any Russian speaker. Letter R, sound R. R. This is what S looks like. Letter S, sound S, like the first sound in the word sun in English. This should not be too confusing though, as we do pronounce the C letter as S sound in English from time to time, like in the word certain or another word century. Letter S, sound S in Russian. This is what U looks like. Letter U, like the last sound in the word shoe in English. Letter U. This is what H looks like. Letter H, sound H, like the first sound in the word hot. Letter H, sound H. And now we're going to read some more words in Russian. And again, I'll walk you through it sound by sound, letter by letter. The first word is U, T, K, A, utka, utka. Another word, O, S, K, V, A, Moskva. And as you notice, O is not stressed. So we're going to simplify its pronunciation. Moskva. And Moskva is a word that you will be able to recognize. Moscow. Moskva. And this is how we write it. Another word. A, R, A, K, T, E, R. Характер. 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 You see, when I pronounce the word, my R's are not as rolling as they were when I just pronounced the letter. Характер. Much easier to pronounce. Now we're going to look at the letters that sound the same but look differently. So the look of these letters will be absolutely new to you. For this reason, I'm going to show you how to write them properly. I understand that these days we do not write with a pen or a pencil just as often, but actually writing the letters on a piece of paper will help you remember them, and it will accelerate the process of learning how to read in Russian. Watch the small animations that I prepared for you and try to follow the correct order of strokes when you write them. This way you will learn these letters much faster. This is what B looks like. Letter B sound B, like the first sound in the word bird in English. And here's how we write the uppercase letter and the lowercase letter. Letter B sound B. Watch these small animations as many times as you need. Try to copy them, and when you're ready, move on. This is what G looks like. Letter G sound G, like the first sound in the word go in English. And here is how we write the uppercase letter. The lowercase letter actually is absolutely the same, so just learning one is enough. Letter G sound G. This is what D looks like. Letter D sound D, like the first sound in the word dog in English. I know it doesn't make any sense to you now, but actually the look of this letter is just a square with tiny legs under it. And here is how we write the letter. This is the letter that you will see quite often, so get used to it. Although there is another way of writing it which is a bit simpler, so let me show it to you. Again, letter D sound D. This is what Z looks like. Letter Z sound Z, like the first sound in the word zoo in English. And yes, it does look just like number 3, which actually means it will not be a problem to write it. Just scribble number 3 down if you have to. And here's how we actually write the uppercase letter. The lowercase letter will be absolutely the same. Letter Z sound Z. This is what E looks like. Letter E, like the first sound in the word eagle in English. It is actually reversed N letter from the English alphabet, and here is how we write the uppercase letter. Letter E. This is what L looks like. Letter L sound L, like the first sound in the word lemon in English. And here's how we write the letter. And there is another way of writing it, a little bit simpler. Letter L sound L. This is what P looks like. Letter P sound P, like the first sound in the word park in English. And here's how we write this letter. Letter P sound P. This is what F looks like. Letter F sound F, like the first sound in the word free in English. And here is how we write this funny looking letter. Letter F sound F. And now we're going to read more words. I'll walk you through the sounds again. B, A, N, K, bank. And that's the word bank for you. Bank. Next. G, E, T, A, R, A. Gitara. Gitara. That's the word guitar for you. Next word. F, I, L, O, S, O, F. Philosophy. second O is not stressed, so we're actually going to kind of skip it. Philosoph. Philosoph. That's the word philosopher for you. Next. K, A, Z, I, N, O. Casino. Casino, which is obviously a casino. Casino. Next. P, A, R, L, A, M, E, N, T. Parlament. 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 Next. V, I, D, E, O. Video. 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 Now we're going to look at the letters that are absolutely new to you. They look differently and they make different kinds of sounds. This is letter yo, similar to the first sound in the word yogurt. Yo. This letter is pronounced in different ways. When it is at the beginning of the word or after another vowel, we pronounce it as yo, just like the name of the letter. But in all the other positions in the word, we pronounce it as which is actually a softer version of o. What is interesting about this letter is that yo is always under stress. So if you see this letter in a word, just know that this syllable is stressed. And here's how we write this letter. Just like yeah, but with two small dots above it. Letter yo. This is letter zh, similar to the sound in the middle of word bourgeois in English. Letter zh, sound zh. It does look a bit like a star, yes. Let's see how to write it. Letter zh, sound zh. This is letter y, similar to the first sound in the word yummy in English. Letter y. Letter e, sound y. It is a consonant, which is a trivial bit of information, but it will gain importance in the following lessons. Let's see how to write it. Very similar to letter E, but with a little thingy just above it. Letter E, sound Y. This is letter Ts. There is no similar sound in English, so let's learn how to pronounce it correctly first. Imagine letters T and S coming together. T and S. Now try to pronounce them one after another at a rapid pace. Ts, ts. That is exactly the sound that we are looking for. Letter T, sound Ts. Let's see how to write it. Letter T, sound Ts. This is letter Ch, similar to the sound at the beginning of the word chair in English. Letter Ch, sound Ch. It does look a bit like number 4, but not quite. Let's see how to write it. Letter Ch, sound Ch. This is letter Sh, similar to the sound at the beginning of the word shorts. Letter Sh, sound Sh. Let's see how to write it. Letter Sh, sound Sh. This is letter Sh, similar to the very rare sound in the English language, the one we have at the beginning of word Chicago. Sh. It does look and sound very similar to the previous letter, but you will learn to differentiate them with time and experience. Let's see how to write it. Letter sh, sound sh. This is letter u. There is no similar sound in the English language, so let me try to explain how to pronounce it. Start saying exaggeratedly articulated letter u, and then, while still pronouncing it, change the shape of your lips so it looks like you're smiling. U. It should sound like this. Letter U. U. Let's see how to write it. There is no uppercase letter, as no word in the Russian language starts with letter U. This is letter E, similar to the sound at the beginning of the word apple in English. We're not going to talk much about this letter, as I promise you, starting the next lesson, we'll be very familiar with it. Letter E. Let's see how to write it. E. This is letter U, similar to the sound at the beginning of the word youth in English. U. Let's see how to write it. U. And this is letter Ya, similar to the sound at the beginning of the word young in English. Ya is the last letter of the Russian alphabet. Ya. And it is also a word, meaning I am. Ya. I am. Let's see how to write it. Letter Ya. There are also two letters that have no sound. They have a function in the language, but they don't make any sound. So we call them a hard sign. This is how we write it. And a soft sign. This is how we write it. You will learn about their function in the following lessons. Now let's read some words. A, k, t, r. Acteur, acteur. J, u, r, i, jury, jury. Y, o, g, a, yoga, yoga. Ya, g, u, a, r. Jaguar, jaguar. Sh, a, m, p, u, m. Мягкий знак, soft sign. Шампунь, шампунь. Ц, м, т, р. Центр, центр. The structure of the slides will make it very clear for you when it's time to listen, to learn, and to take notes, and when it's time to practice. When you see this light brown background of the slide, it means that it's time for you to work and to apply your knowledge. Now it's time for you to read. Pause the video after every word that I show you, try to read it on your own, and then unpause and check together with me. Every word you will see on this slide is a name of a city or a town somewhere in the world. Look at the word, pause, try to read, unpause, and check. Alphabet, alphabet, which means alphabet. Let's start. A. Афины. Б. Бостон. В. Вашингтон. Г. Гамбург. Fun fact about letter G in Russian. Very often, the letter H at the beginning of the proper noun in English is substituted by letter G in Russian. So you will hear words like Гарри Поттер, Гарвард, or Гамбург, or even Гамбургер. Next. D. Delhi. Ye. Yerevan. Yo. Yurt. Ж. Женева. Z. Занзибар. И. Иерусалим. Й. Йоханнесбург. К. Каир. Л. Лондон. М. Москва. М. Нью-Йорк. О. Осло. П. Париж. Р. Рим. С. Стамбул. Т. Токио. У. Ульм. Ф. Флоренция. Х. Хельсинки. Ц. Цюрих. Ч. Чикаго. Ш. Шанхай. Sh. Shirk. Hard sign and will not have any words. Neither will soft sign. Edinburgh. Yurmala. Yalta.
We have covered a huge chunk of information today. We learned all the letters and how to read in Russian. If you try to practice every day, even just for 5 minutes, it will take you just 2 or 3 days to get used to the letters and you will be fully ready to continue. Great job today. See you next time.